Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be doing more Sylvan Squad team testing because there's been a major change to the Ravaged Realm. Take a look at the hotfix that we have been sent. Fixed an issue in Ravaged Realm where the resurrected Deep Sea Siren's tentacle occasionally inherited an incorrect portion of the Deep Sea Siren stats. Also, we have reduced the overall defensive stats of enemies in this mode. As part of this hotfix, your Ravaged Realm challenge and purchase attempts for today have been reset. This issue introduced an unpredictable factor affecting the damage dealt in Ravaged Realm battles. If the Deep Sea Siren's tentacle is resurrected late in the fight with incorrect stats, it would dramatically boost your damage dealt. However, if the tentacle has inherited the correct amount of defensive stats, your damage would be noticeably lower compared to when the issue occurred, even if your heroes had been upgraded in the meantime. With this hotfix, we have resolved the issue that caused the Deep Sea Siren's tentacle to inherit incorrect stats. We have also reduced the defensive stats of enemies in the Ravaged Realm to help maintain your performance, ensuring your ranking remains consistent before and after the hotfix, as long as your hero promotion is properly optimized. Okay, so basically what it seems like is they have overall reduced the defensive stats of the enemies, causing everyone is now going to get a boost to their scores. The other thing is it seems now they've made it more consistent how the tentacles inherit accurate stats of the boss, and that is also really good because then hopefully there won't be as much RNG in all of the runs. And we're given 500 of these Radiant Crests, which we can use to upgrade our charms, which will be important. But we're going to get right into the team testing right now. So in the Sylvan Squad, basically there are 4 different teams I want to try right now, which are some of the top performing team options. Yeah, look at this. So we were rank 1 and now we're rank 15. We're gonna have to do attacks now with the overall top teams. Okay, so we'll begin it, I guess, off with the Dionel team, just because it's pay to win and it'll be fun to look at that. So let's try to find. Okay, so the Dionel team is gonna be Dionel, Lenya on the buff tiles, and Rainier in front of the Lenya. Okay, Rainier in front of the Lenya. We're gonna have Laika and Haywin, and the artifact is going to be the Great Sword spell for this team. Now, as for the charms I have Sorcery onto Dionel, I have Mystic onto Laika, which is really important. I think her charms, because they boost the damage of your team. Rainier, Mystic charms, Lenya, Butcher charms, and then Haywin is on the Recovering charms. So pretty much optimal charms there. For the team number 2, the team number 2 we're going to be running is going to be Parisa with the Resonating spell, because she takes better advantage of the Resonating spell. Now for her, she'll want to be on the Swift charms, Lily on the other buff tile slot, and then for the final hero, it is going to be Iron. My Iron is on the Mystic charms, but you can give him Cheetah charms as well. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Let's do our first run. We're definitely going to be setting a new record, but let's see how high we can get. We'll watch it on times 2 speed because we have a lot of teams to go through right now. Okay, so we're going to try to pay attention. Yeah, okay, look at this. Already 20 billion damage, 10 seconds into the match. Things have gotten crazy, but don't worry. Dionel, some people are getting the top score with Dionel. However, there are some people with the non-Dionel, just Lenya team, getting 115 billion as well, which is basically the top score too that I've seen so far. So don't worry, you don't have to have Dionel. And probably all the teams which you've run before this, if you just rerun them with now the changes to the hotfix, then you're going to probably also get a high score as well. But new best teams might come out due to the changes which have happened here. Like, look at this. 35 seconds left, already 57 billion damage. Normally, like, even if you get 57 billion damage by the end of the run, it's considered pretty good. But it seems like because you're dealing more damage, the boss is ramping up faster. And now, look, already Lenya died pretty early on in the fight. Dionel is still alive, but I don't know. He's not dealing that much more damage anymore after our allies have been killed. Yeah, because basically in the last like 20 seconds, we hardly increased our damage by that much. So it doesn't look great, but maybe team number 2 is going to carry it here. Parisa with the Resonating spell is better than Lily May with the Resonating spell. And so that is why this team is a really good option for team number 2. Yeah, already 30 billion damage. So it seems like the boss, like, you hit her really hard early on, but then she rapidly increases her stats, both defensive stats and offensive stats, because then she begins like bursting your team, and also you hardly deal damage to her anymore. But I think what is really happening here is like the secondary team is just getting a massive damage score boost, because normally getting above 50 billion for team number 2 is really difficult. And also both teams can get around up to potentially close to 60 billion, but not quite. right? Because if you actually got 60 billion on both of the team number 2s, then you would get 120 billion score, which no one has gotten anything like that. Yeah, after you get around 50 billion, then it really slows down. These tentacles are really tanky. You're not dealing that much damage anymore, and the boss has already killed some of your allies. Okay, but there we go, 54 billion. The team number 1 did 57 or so billion. So this is not looking like 115 billion damage as of right now. We would need a lot more burst from Lily May here. Maybe we can do it. 5 seconds left. Can we get 56 billion damage here? No. Okay, 55. So in total, that's going to be around 112 or 113 billion damage. 112 billion damage. Wait, that is going to be rank 1? I thought someone was 115. Okay, it was almost 113 billion damage, 112.9. But like I've said, I think that team has hit 115 billion damage. Maybe we need to optimize the charms, or we need RNG. Also, guys, it's important that you, for this day, because of the hotfix, that you attack right now between now and reset. Normally, this will not matter, but now because everyone has gotten this basically score boost, you will also have to use your attacks, and you have 20 attacks which have been restored to you. Okay, we're gonna go for the next team, and the next team I want to try is going to be okay, we're gonna do a Lenya Parisa team on team number 1 with the great sword spell. So let's go back into the team formation. So now we're gonna have Rainier here, get rid of Dionel. We're gonna have are we gonna have, yeah, Lenya behind the Rainier. We're gonna have Parisa on the other buff tile. We're going to run the Greatsword spell, and then finally, same heroes, Laika and Haywin. For team number 2, we are going to be running the Resonating spell with Lily May now, and it is going to be the standard Lily May Brian team, which people have run a lot in the past as well. And I have the Eagle Charms onto Brian, however, I don't know how important they honestly are. Okay, so let's take a look at this team. So, Lenya is your major damage source of this team. Parisa also contributes a lot. A big priority for you to upgrade charms of are going to be Lenya, like refining them, because she's really good for PvP Supreme Arena as well. So I think it will be a good option if you refine her charms. If you're just looking at maxing out your score for the Ravaged Realm, you can also refine Parisa's charms. But like the people who have the plus 15 exclusive equipment Parisa, those are the ones who are going to hit really hard. Refining her charms only makes a 3.9% attack boost, which honestly I don't think is that big of a deal. For the team number 2, Lily May charms, of course you want to refine because she's really important everywhere. Supreme Arena and Dream Realm, as well as Ravaged Realm. And then Brian I would not refine, and Iron I would not refine. So basically, out of these teams, like if you're running the Dionel comp, then probably you want to refine his charms too. I don't know which charms are actually going to be optimal for him for the Thalassa, because I know for PvP sorcery charms are the way to go, but for Thalassa, I have a feeling that it could be a different option. Could be Gale Charms or something like that. I don't know. Okay, this team is looking really good. Like, look, the Dionel team only got 57.8 billion, right? And the whole team is alive right here. Like, so if we could get 57 billion off of this team, it's a really good score. Come on, guys, we can do it. Let's go. Let's go. 57.4. There we go, 57.9. Did even kind of better than the Dionel team on team number 1. However, the problem is you don't have Parisa on team number 2, so your damage is probably going to be a bit lower on the secondary team. Yeah, I would imagine that the second team is going to be a little bit lower, but hopefully not by that much. And this is another great option. Basically, all of the 4 teams I'm going to show you guys today, all of them can compete for the top ranks. And there is going to be a team where, like, for example, if Lenya is on the buff tile, you should not try to run that team if you don't have Lenya. However, if Lenya is off the buff tile and getting position swapped by Rainier, for example, you can run a team like that and just swap out Lenya for another hero. So that is what... Look at this. Like, you look away for a second and you're at over 50 billion damage because of the changes to everything. So we want to get... We might even break the Dionel record. If we can get 56 billion here, we're going to break it. 28 seconds left. We can do it. Come on. Lily May, Iron, you can do it. Let the free-to-play players win. Not the Dionel comp. I don't want the Dionel comp to be the best because, like, no, hardly anyone has Dionel built. Come on, 55 billion. Okay, yeah, we're not really hitting it. Come on, we need 56. We need 56 to beat the Dionel comp. Okay, it's really close. I don't think it's a new record. It is a new record. 113 billion, just barely new record thing, and this is not even using Dionel. So this is a great team that you guys can run. We'll share that formation. Okay, so that is awesome. 113.2 billion, like 300 million higher than the Dionel comp. Okay, amazing. Now we're going to move on to We're going to move on to now, like we mentioned, Lenya being position swapped by Rainier. Now, these are the teams you want to try if you don't have Lenya built, and then you can swap her out for another hero, and we'll talk about maybe some options. So here is actually using Damien, although you could use Haywind like as a healer here in front of the Lenya. You don't have to use Damien, but this team apparently is using Damien and doing really well with the Tide Call spell. I think Greatsword is only when you have either Dionel as your prime carrier or Lenya as your prime carrier. If you have other heroes, then you should not be running that. And this is going to be the team. Okay, now as for my Damien, he doesn't have the optimal charms. Healing would probably be better for him, healing effectiveness. And for the team number 2, it is going to be the same team. Some people run it over here with Iron in the middle, and that is what we're going to try to run as well. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's go. Let's see what we can get. Yeah, but this is really exciting. So rather than Lenya, you could use, well, Brian is already being used in team number 2. Otherwise, Brian could be a good option. You can even run Khafra. That was what some people ran, Khafra instead of Lenya, and only dealing about 7 billion damage lower. You can use Lenya even if she isn't at Mythic Plus yet, maybe even at Legendary Plus. Her damage is going to be low, but I mean, a lot of the damage is also coming from the Leica and the Parisa in this comp. And as long as your hero just survives, like whichever hero you use in the Lenya slot, then that can also proc the Tide Call spell more for your team. And look at it in the beginning, like getting to that first 50 billion damage is so fast, and then everything really slows down hardcore. And also your team ends up dying, or can be killed. So far, Damien has been able to sustain the team, which is good. Lenya does go down, and Lenya will always go down around this point. Okay, so 54 billion damage, 16 seconds left, and now the whole team wipes. So this team number 1 is not looking too great. Like, if you have Lenya built, I think you should run the other Lenya version with Lenya on the buff tile. And team number 2 we've seen many times, so we can go ahead and skip that and see what we got. So we got about almost 54 billion damage on team number 1, which means team number 2 did around 55 billion damage, which is not bad. 109 billion damage score is still really good. However, this is not really looking the best to me. Yeah, I would not really recommend this team. If you have Lenya built, you should be running the other one with Lenya on the buff tile. Yeah, okay, now we're going to run the final team that we haven't tried yet. The final team is going to be a magic damage healer team on team number 1 with Parisa. And we're going to have Haywind back here as the healer. And we're going to have Brian on the team number 1. And this is going to like increase the damage dealt by your allies on team number 1. And for team number 2, we're going to be running, or before I forget, we should change this to the arcane spell for team number 1. Team number 2 is going to be Florabelle, Lily May, and Iron. And this is another thing you can try. For example, if you want to run Brian in team number 1, you can run Florabelle in team number 2. Oh, and that is the other thing. If, for example, you don't have Lenya on team number 1, you can replace her for something like Florabelle in that position. That is a good swap. But basically, out of all the heroes here, the heroes you really want to run, apart from the ones we've already fielded in this comp, Leica is also good. And yeah, basically Leica. People were running Almas teams before we had this hotfix, and they were actually doing pretty well. However, after the hotfix, I think the teams without Almas are doing better. But yeah, let's take a look. So this is now going to be the final run that we try. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to skip with our top performing team, which was actually the Lenya on the buff tile team. But let's see if this one can get even higher. Only 20 seconds in, up to 42 billion damage. It's crazy. But like, it's really like kind of an extreme boost to stats that happens as soon as you get to 50 billion damage dealt. The tentacles become so tanky, your team begins taking so much damage. Haywind is able to heal your team at the perfect time right there. Otherwise, everyone was getting low. They all could have died. That is going to be 53 billion damage, 36 seconds left. Okay, yeah. In order for this to beat the other teams, this needs to hit 57 billion or around about there. It's looking good so far, 54 billion, 22 seconds left. If the whole team can survive, Haywind definitely seems like the best option in this comp, better than Damien, because Damien, his healing is not enough. Your allies begin dying towards the end. Okay, 56 billion damage. Come on, get the tentacle, get the other tentacle. 4 seconds left, 56 billion damage, 56.5. Not bad. Like, I mean, this is definitely not a bad score. And yeah. Okay, team number 2. We haven't seen a Florabelle team on team number 2, so we can watch it play out, or at least the beginning of it we can watch it. Because I think this has the potential of maybe breaking our record, because all of our number 1 teams have gotten between 56 to 57 billion damage, and this one got 56.5. So if the team number 2 here does really well for some reason, then we could still get a new record off of it. But yeah, basically from what you're seeing, it doesn't look like Dionel is like much better than the other teams, or if even better at all. So yeah. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna refine the Lenya charms. Maybe refine, I don't really want to refine Parisa charms. That's way too hardcore for Ravaged Realm, because it doesn't really help you anywhere else. Okay, things are looking good. 28 seconds left. Our damage looks a little bit low, but our survivability is looking good. We need to hit 57 billion damage on this team if we want to set a new record. And I think that will be difficult, because I think Florabelle on this team with Lilymay is not as optimal as Brian. Like, Brian does better on this team for your damage output, but not bad. Like, this is a really good score. 55 billion damage, 55.5, and in total, is it not a new record, but 112 billion damage. Yeah, so basically all of these teams are going to be good options for you guys to try and run. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give Lenya the upgrade to her charms. Do we want to upgrade anyone else? Rainier? No, we don't want to upgrade Rainier charms, so it's just the wild heroes that we want to upgrade. Sorcery on Lilymay is already upgraded. So Lenya, we will refine these charms. And this is going to be a good priority for you to refine Lenya's charms, because like we said, she's good in Supreme Arena as well. And so not only just for Ravaged Realm. As for the other heroes, I don't really want to refine them. Okay, we're going back into the Ravaged Realm. And we're going to try the Lenya team. They're all getting really close, to be honest. But we're going to try the one which did the best for us, which was this team with the Greatsword spell on team number 1. Rainier in front of the Lenya. And then team number 2 is going to be this Iron, Brian, and Lilymay. Okay, so we're going to skip it a few times and see what we can get. Okay. Attempt number 1, 112 billion, not bad. And this is the other thing I want to find out. Is the RNG actually reduced now? Because of the fact that, like, there won't be any incorrect gaining of stats of the different tentacles. Yeah, they're all getting around about the same score. Looks like the RNG has been reduced. I think the only RNG it comes down to now is really, does your team survive for long enough? Because they still can die a bit early on sometimes. 111 billion damage. Maybe we should try a couple more runs with the Dionel team. And maybe I even want to try a couple more runs with the Arcane spell on team number 1. Because that was pretty good. The thing which will make the most difference is, for example, like we said, if you have a plus 15 exclusive recruitment of Parisa, that is going to, or even of Leica, although Leica's damage is low. And then for team number 2, plus 15 of Brian, maybe. But those are really the people who are going to be getting the top scores, because plus 15 is going to give you another, like, almost 12 or 13% attack, another 113 billion damage score. So that could have been a new record, but it was really close to what we got, because our overall record is 113.2 billion. Okay, so I think we're done trying that team. Yeah, but the RNG seems definitely reduced. Let's move on to the team which they got 112 billion, the magical team on team number 1. Because I feel like this team has good potential as well, with maybe getting some better RNG. And this team has been doing really well for a lot of people, but I think it will also depend, like we said. Okay, 112 billion on the first attempt. Should we? And for Dionel, I don't think I have any other charms for Dionel, because I crafted these sorcery charms for PvP. So we would just have to maybe refine them and try some more runs with him. These ones keep getting 112 billion. I feel like this could break it, because, like, if it's consistently getting 112, it's really close to 113, because if you saw the other Lenya team that we were running, that was, like, kind of consistently getting 111, and then one of them was 113. This one keeps getting 112. Okay, we're gonna go back to the Dionel team. Maybe the Dionel team is where we're gonna have our luck, but I think really for this account, 113 is kind of like the limit. Like I've mentioned to you guys, some people have gotten 115. But I guess you would need Parisa at, like, plus 15 exclusive recruitment for that. I don't know. Okay. Let's see, Dionel. Run number 1, 111 billion. Okay, I'm going to refine Dionel's charms just for fun. I don't actually think this is going to make a big difference to these runs. And when we take a look at the other charms, which would be good for him, I have a feeling it could be Gale charms, because attack and attack speed, because his ultimate power, like, that is good when there are multiple enemies, but when you're attacking one single enemy boss, I feel like a lot of his value is coming from just his attack speed and his damage. But I don't know, like Leica's giving him a lot of attack speed, maybe he doesn't need it, right? And maybe just the skill power from sorcery charms is better. It's difficult to say. Okay, we're going back to the Ravaged Realm with the Dionel Team. We'll do like 2 or 3 runs with the Dionel Team and see whether we can get a new record with it. But basically pick one of these teams, and like we said, if you don't have Lenya, you can just run the team which has Lenya off the buff tile and replace... Oh, there we go. 113 though. But how much was it? If it was a high 113, then that's a good record. No, it's only 113.4 billion, hardly higher. But yeah, some people have gotten 115 billion damage with this Dionel team. I think again they probably have a plus 15 exclusive equipment Parisa. That would be really the big break point. Because yeah, another 12 or 13% attack on Parisa, who is a hard-hitting damage dealer for team number 2. It would be a big difference, right? Like looking at that. Yeah. But anyway guys, I think that's going to be pretty much it for this video. Like I recommended, if you don't have a Lenya built up well, I would run this team, which also did really well, and replace the Lenya for like any other hero. Like literally any other wild hero that isn't gonna die. It could even be Almas, you could try it, or you can run Kafra, or you can run Lenya at lower ascension as long as she survives for long enough. And for team number 2, you run like this. Basically, you just want to have hard-hitting damage deals on the buff tiles, like your most well-built-up hard-hitting damage deals on the buff tiles. And then off of them, team number 2, Iron is always doing well. Hardly anyone's running Damien on team number 2 anymore, although that is another option if you want to. Damien can work on team number 2, and Haven is doing much better on team number 1 than Damien, but if you don't have Haven built up enough, you can try Damien here too. It can be fine, but hopefully out of these teams you guys can put together a good team option. You can run the old teams you're running as well, and just run them again. Make sure after this hotfix, because you're going to get a damage boost no matter which team you're running. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.